Welcome to MBA Solutions. I am Manjunath, working as an assistant professor at VVC Mysuru. In this video, let us discuss different types of meeting in detail. Before going into the video, if you have not subscribed to our channel, please subscribe and press the bell icon to receive more notifications. In our previous video, we discussed different types of meeting. So members meeting, where it can be classified again into two, general meeting and class meeting. Under general meeting, we have annual general meeting, extraordinary general meeting, statutory meeting, and class meeting. Directors meeting, board meeting, and committee meeting. Creditors meeting, debenture holders meeting, creditors and contributors in winding up meeting. Final meeting at dissolution. So let us discuss these different types of meeting one by one in detail. So members meeting. So members of a company will be a part of this meeting. So they will be a part of the meeting as the name indicate. In that, the first one is general meeting. General meeting where members who have the right to vote. So members are the one who started the business, who have invested in the business, and their name will be there in the register of members. And these members who have the right to vote, they are entitled. That means they should attend this meeting. Resolution is passed in this particular meeting are binding on all the members. So whenever they pass any decision, resolution in that particular meeting, then that particular decision or resolution binds all the members who are the part of the meeting. That means they are the one who decided certain set of activities. So those decision binds every member of that particular meeting. All the members of the company may attend and vote in such meeting. So members should come and attend the meeting and vote in such meeting, unless if shareholders or members or memorandum of association or article of association, if any of these things restrict them from attending, then they cannot attend. But if no restriction is there, then members should attend general meeting. Under general meeting, we have annual general meeting, AGM. Every company other than one person company shall hold AGM. So other than one person company, any other company should have annual general meeting. And it is mandatory in one calendar year. That means one annual general meeting. Annual means yearly. One annual general meeting is mandatory in a calendar year. Calendar year means January 1st to December 31st. So within this period, every company should have done one annual general meeting. First annual general meeting of the company shall be held within 9 months from the end of first financial year. So the first financial year will end. From there, first annual general meeting should happen within 9 months of that first financial year. That means, for example, a company started in the month of June 2019, and in June they have started the company. The first financial year of the company or first financial year from the start of this company will be in the March 31st, that is the end of first financial year, because financial year starts from April 1st and ends at March 31st. So March 31st, 2020 will be the end of first financial year for this particular company. And from there, within 9 months, so from April 1st, within 9 months, the company shall have one annual general meeting. So this is what first annual general meeting. So this provision will give some time for the organizations who started after April or May of any year, because first financial year will end on 31st March of the next year, and then from there will be 9 months time. That means till January it has time. So till January it can have its annual general meeting. That is first annual general meeting. And any other annual general meeting, subsequent annual general meeting should be held in one calendar year all the time. So it should be very careful. So June, if the company starts, March 31st, that is June 2019, if the company starts, March 31st, 2020 will be the end of first financial year. From there, within 9 months, that means from April 1st, 2020 till January 2021, they should have completed their annual general meeting. And from there, every year, from January 1st to 31st December, annual general meeting should have been held. And this meeting is or it should be there for all the companies except one person company. In this meeting, main discussion will be related to financial issues of the company. Annual general meeting, there are major issues will be dealt in this because once in a year this is done. Major issues will be financial issues, some appointment of directors or appointment of auditors, all these first auditors. So like these major issues will be discussed in this particular meeting, that is annual general meeting. Now coming to extraordinary general meeting. Other than annual general meeting and statutory meeting, the company can have extraordinary general meeting. So dealing with an extraordinary matter which cannot be postponed till annual general meeting. See, usually major decisions will be taken in annual general meeting, be it financial, be it directors, appointment of directors, auditors. Major decisions will be taken in annual general meeting. If any matter which is extraordinary or which is very important and that cannot be postponed till annual general meeting, then those matters or those things will be discussed in extraordinary ordinary general meeting. That is extraordinary general meeting. So here issues like changes in articles of association, issues of debenture, removal of directors, removal of auditors, reduction or reorganization of share capital, and any related matters like this will be discussed because certain things which cannot be postponed till annual general meeting. For example, you had annual general meeting in the month of February. February 2020, the company had annual general meeting. Now, if you want to take major decision, you might have decided that next year in the month of January 2021 we will have annual general meeting. So if you want to take any major decision in the month of April 2020, you cannot postpone it till January 2021. In those cases, you can have extraordinary general meeting. So this is one more thing. Then coming to statutory meeting, at the beginning of incorporation of the company, as soon as the company gets incorporated, the company's first meeting will be statutory meeting. So on statutory meeting, one statutory meeting the company will have. So as soon as the incorporation of the company happens, they will have one meeting called statutory meeting. And this is only one meeting in the lifetime of the company. That means company will not have statutory meeting frequently, only one time. It must be held within a period not less than 1 month and not more than 6 months. So the statutory meeting should happen between 1 to 6 months of the incorporation of the company. For example, the company got incorporated in the month of March 6th, 2020. So it must be held within a period not less than 1 month. That means it cannot be held before April 6th. So from April 6th and not more than 6 months, October 6th. So within this period, you can have statutory meeting. And statutory meeting is only one meeting in the lifetime of the organization. Private company, company limited by guarantee and company not having share capital need not hold such meetings. So it is understood that public companies should have, and in that private company may not have this, company limited by guarantee also may not have this, even one-person company also might not have this. Company not having share capital need not hold such meeting. Why they might not? Because this meeting is done to make shareholders understand a very important fact related to the new company. So whenever there are shareholders, so statutory meeting is done to make shareholders understand a very important facts of the company. So when company like private companies, when limited by guarantee, when people or companies don't have share capital, then shareholders will not be there and shareholders When shareholders are not there, this particular meeting will not be held. So it depends on whether you really want to have statutory meeting or not. They need not have, but if they really want to have a statutory meeting, they can have. So this is general meeting. So under general meeting we studied three, that is under general meeting we studied annual general meeting, extraordinary general meeting and statutory meeting. Now coming to class meeting. Under members meeting, class meeting is one more category. This meeting is held to deal with matters affecting the interest of holders of a particular class of shares. For example, equity shareholders have some issues, or preference shareholders have some issues, or debenture holders might have some issues. Debenture holders will not come here, but shareholders. So any class of shareholders, equity shareholders or preference shareholders like this, any other classes of shareholders, if they have any issue, that will be discussed in class meeting. So different class of shares, holders who are having different particular class of shares, and for them, but separate meeting will be called, because the problem of equity shareholders is may not be the problem of preference shareholders. So at that time, we will not call preference shareholders, we call equity shareholders. So like that, class meeting will be held to check or to discuss the matters which affects the interest of those class of holders, shareholders. Now, it is held to alter the rights of a particular class of shareholders. If you want to change the rights of duties of a shareholder of a particular set of shareholders, then you can do that. That means particular class of shareholders. Binds only that particular class of shareholders. For example, if I call a meeting of equity shareholders, if the company calls meeting of equity shareholders, only equity shareholders will come. They will discuss, they will pass some decisions, and only they are bind to that particular decision. So only they are related to that particular decision. Example, cancel arrears on dividend for preference shares. If they want to cancel, if the company wants to cancel arrears on dividend for preference shares, they have to call them for a meeting, discuss that why they are cancelling, and then they have to take the decision. And preference shareholders can discuss and approve if they want. So like this, class meeting will happen. Now coming to directors meeting, directors will be a part of the meeting. When directors will be a part of the meeting? In board meeting, board of directors meeting. So board of directors meeting, where directors will be a part of this particular meeting. In this, why board of directors will meet? Because they want to make the policy of the company and major action for the future of the company will be discussed in this meeting. So they have to take the decision related to policies and major actions. To do that, because directors will run the business, members will invest in the business, shareholders will invest in the business, directors will run the business. When they want to run the business, they have to take lot of decisions related to policies, actions of the future. So for that, board of directors will have meeting. Chairman will be there for the board. So board will have appointed, might have appointed one chairman. They will appoint one chairman, and that chairman will be there for the board, and who will be appointed by the board, by the directors of the board. And chairman is responsible to call board meeting. So any board meeting where directors will be a part of the meeting, the whole sole responsibility lies with the chairman to call such meetings. And this chairman will be appointed by the board. That means directors who are a part of the board, they will only appoint the chairman of the board. Chairman means who lead the board. First board meeting of the company shall be held within 30 days of incorporation. Within 30 days of incorporation, that means within 1 month, first board meeting should have been held. At least 4 meetings shall be held in 1 year. So in 1 year, minimum 4 meetings shall be held. That is minimum 4 board meetings shall be held in any company. So gap between 2 board meetings should not exceed minimum 90 days, maximum 120 days. That means any board meeting gap between 2 meetings. For example, one board meeting happened in the month of January, and the other board meeting they are planning to have in the month of October. So there is almost 10 months difference. That will not happen. So the rule says that any meeting, 2 board meeting difference should not exceed minimum 90 days, maximum 120 days. So maximum limit is 120 days. You can have the gap between 2 board meetings for 120 days, not more than that. Then coming to directors meeting, second part, meeting of committee directors. See, this committee of directors we have discussed in audit committee, where, like for example, audit committee, remuneration committee, finance committee, budgetary committee, and so on. So, an organization will have number of directors, maybe 10, 15, depending on how they are running the business. And these directors will form a small pool of 2 or 3 to form a small committee. That is called committee of directors. So if there are 15 directors, then 3 directors will be audit committee, another 3 directors may be remuneration committee, another 3 directors may be finance committee, budgetary committee. So it depends on how organization will have those committees. And each committee will have 2 to 3, and in audit committee mandatory they should have 3 directors. So like that, it depends on the organization to have number of committees. And these committee of directors should also meet regularly to discuss the matter related to their committee. For example, investigate and report various matters related to their committee. If it is audit committee, they investigate and report audited statements. If it is remuneration committee, they check how remuneration or salary is given to a lot of people in the organization. Like this. So this investigation and report will facilitate board to take major decisions. So once they investigate and then they report and recommend to the board of directors will take decisions based on that. So board of directors can delegate the following powers to the committee. So they can delegate some powers to the committee like borrowing money on debentures, invest the fund, make loans, and so on. So the committee can borrow some money based on debentures, they can invest the fund in expansion of the business, they can take some loans, and many other powers can be given by the board of directors to that particular committee. So like this committee meeting will happen, and most of the time this committee meeting will also happen very frequently because they have to take major decisions in the organization. Now coming to creditors meeting. Creditors will be a part of the meeting. Why? Because what is the purpose of having this kind of meeting? Because purpose to make a scheme, any compromise, any arrangements with creditors. For example, you want to have some compromise with the creditors. The company wants to explain some arrangements or some scheme to the creditors. If they are expanding the business, they want to discuss things with the creditors. Then they will call a creditors meeting. So before calling any creditors meeting, you have to follow a procedure. The company has to follow the procedure. The procedure is an application must be made by the company with the High Court to hold such meetings. So any company, if they are calling for creditors meeting, they have to make an application in the High Court. High Court should approve. High Court may order to hold such meetings, creditors meeting. So what kind of scheme? Any scheme or compromises must be approved by 3/4 in the value of creditors present and voting agrees compromise. That means 3/4 of the people or 3/4 of the creditors who are a part of that particular meeting should approve any scheme or any compromise and vote. Then only that compromise or that particular scheme will be implemented. So for example, you want to bring some changes in the, or you're expanding the business, you want to take the consent of the creditors, then 3/4 of the people, 3/4 of the creditors who are present in that meeting should approve and agree and vote for that particular decision. Then only that will be taken into consideration. For example, what kind of matters will be discussed? For like to seek approval for amalgamation, that may be merger, acquisition, joint venture, something like that, or reconstruction of the company, changing of the company's lot of things in the company, changing of business, expansion of business, lot of things can be discussed. Maybe to seek the consent for winding up of the company. So company decided to wind up, you call a creditors meeting, ask them whether company needs to be wind up, because creditors are the people who have given you loans, who have given you money to run the business. So without their consent, you cannot take major decisions. So whenever you feel like creditors has to be a part of this particular decision, company has to call them, must call them for this kind of meeting. So in that we have two, meeting for voluntary winding up. We discussed whenever company decides to go for a voluntary winding up and creditors will be a part of this, at that time creditors meeting will be called. Meeting of debenture holders. So debenture holders, whenever there is some alteration of rights, issue of new debentures, variation in the condition, all this, then you call for a debenture holders meeting also. Now coming to final meeting at dissolution, once the assets and properties of the company are disposed during winding up. This happens during winding up. So liquidator will be there. Once liquidator disposes all the assets and properties of the organization during winding up process, liquidator shall call the general meeting. So liquidator means the person who is in charge of winding up of the company. He will call for a final general meeting. And what is the purpose of this meeting is purpose of laying the accounts before the meeting and giving explanation. So once all the assets and property of the company has been sold, liquidator will call such general meeting where he will be explaining and showing the accounts in front of everybody in the meeting. And once the explanation and the accounts is accepted and resolution of winding up is passed after satisfaction of the report. So whatever report liquidator shows in front of that meeting, front of the members of the meeting, even in that creditors will be there, board of directors will be there previously, who are the board of directors of the company. Those people will see, once they accept, then the resolution of winding up will be passed based on that satisfaction report of that meeting. So this is how four different types of meeting will be held in the organization. Thank you very much for watching the video.